my recounting of my time in LA, I think that's the fastest I've ever talked on the podcast.
Yeah, it was. It really was. The whole time.
Francis is ripping through the story.
That's the quickest I've ever gotten through anything.
There's so much going on in that
It was
story.
nuts.
It's a crazy fucking week, dude.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Oops the Podcast.
All right, lots to unpack here.
I got something for you.
Please. Giulio, I don't know where you came up with that idea.
Dude, this guy was a huge turkey.
What is this, Japan? Which is
Yeah.
one of the reasons why I hadn't told you about it.
No, and I also just assumed you were saving it for the pod if you were going to tell me,
Yeah.
which of course you were.
Oh,
But-
yeah. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Oops the Podcast. I'm Francis Ellis, joined by Giulio Gallerati,
What is happening?
the king of Netflix.
That's
Have
my
you
new
guys
title, dude.
heard of Netflix? It's 1/5 of FANG, which stands for Facebook, Apple. What is it? What's the second A? It's two A's. Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, and
Google.
Which are the 5 best performing American tech stock companies. And Netflix is obviously one of them. And Giulio, here's how featured he was by one of the 5 highest performing American tech stock companies.
How featured?
I turned on Netflix, I logged in, and the thing he was in started playing.
That's great. to
It was
hear.
the first thing. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like the autoplay thing, the very first thing, Pete Davidson and Friends, it just, if you don't click on something, Netflix starts playing the first thing that you're
Right.
on.
You
the
start
thing you're
seeing
on.
the preview.
That's what it was.
Dude, that's great to hear.
Your piece.
I'm very happy to hear that.
So I watched it. I watched Pete's intro. And then I saw my old friend Big Wet come on. Big
Francis knows Big Wet
Wet
from
was
way back.
one of my earliest friends in New York City. I used to hang out with him all the time.
Dude, that's so funny.
We were in an improv team together. We took
Oh,
improv
man.
classes and we're on an improv team. And I'll tell you this, he was very funny.
I believe it.
He
dude.
was
He's a funny guy.
very good at improv and was funny.
I believe it, man.
He had a real Chris Farley kind of vibe to him.
Uh-huh.
Now he's doing music. It's sort of this country trap genre.
Mhm.
He's also started, I think, a sushi company. I don't know. Man of
Yeah.
many
He's a man of the streets, dude.
pursuits, hustler,
Always
great
doing
guy.
Stuff.
So he's performing the opening musical number after Pete Davidson's thing. And then I sort of skipped until you came on. And what a thrill. What a thrill to see our dear friend and leader, Giulio Gallerati, walk up the stairs, filmed, I think, by our other very dear friend
Yeah.
and talented producer, Chris Caso,
Chris Caso.
who was shooting the backstage sort of behind the scenes footage, which was heavily featured and layered into this wonderful thing on Netflix, Pete Davidson and Friends.
Yeah.
Anytime you saw someone coming off stage, hanging in what looked like a submarine or like a party bus of a
the
green room.
downstairs area.
Yeah. That was Chris shooting all that. And Netflix did not credit him. So we all know that it was him. And keep that in your hearts and minds and know that he has a Netflix credit.
And we will also be making sure to add him to the IMDb Pro page of it. So he will be credited.
You're goddamn right.
Very sick. Dude.
Hold on. I'm not done yet.
Sorry.
Don't you dare.
I wasn't transitioning.
This is the Giulio parade, and the street is long. Okay? And the Chris parade. So, you guys, so Giulio comes out. We all heard a little bit, but you were pretty sparing, I think, in the details of as you recounted the experience. Because in trademark, humble Giulio fashion. Whereas if it had been me that had done it, it would have been a whole episode.
But how? But I'm not sure what I would have said. I'm curious to hear what you have to say because I'm not sure what there is to have been said.
First, there's so much to say. The first thing is you crushed.
Thank you.
Did you feel like you crushed?
I felt like it was good. I mean, dude, I don't know. It's one of those things where the edit is not exactly the same as what happened. Obviously, it is heavily like what that was like. But there were certainly things where like they sort of just did it. Like the edit changes everything a little bit.
Okay. But you did 2 tapings, correct?
Yes. They both were very good.
And did they use pieces? Could you tell which ones were from which show?
No.
Got it. Was one show better than the other in terms of the crowd?
Yes, but different pieces of the different jokes worked better in the different shows. Whereas some certain parts were consistent, but yeah, like I would say that it was definitely a bit of a combo job.
Combo job.
A little bit of a combo job.
Mm-hmm.
I was nervous to see it because, and I think that's part of why it wasn't carrying on much, was because there was a lot of unexpected things. Like I was worried that, I don't know, like when I searched for my name on Netflix yesterday and it popped up, like that made me feel really good.
That's pretty fucking cool, man.
I wasn't sure if that was going to happen. You know what I mean? So I was afraid and self-conscious of the idea of overselling it.
Yeah.
You know, or somehow, God forbid, I got cut out of it somehow. So you just never know.
Well, now it's there.
Now it's there.
It is enduring. It is a Netflix original, which to me means they'll never take it off the platform.
Right. I hope so.
It's not something they have, the rights to. They made it. They own it.
Right.
It is you for a solid, 10 to 15 minutes.
It's shorter, but yeah, something like,
on stage, ripping jokes, performing at the peak of your powers. You looked phenomenal.
Thank you.
My
Shout out to
God, am I
Dillon.
the only one that I don't know if you've ever looked better since I've known you.
Thank you.
I mean that.
Thank you.
Your haircut was great.
Haircut work.
You looked really
good.
trim.
Dude, so can I tell you a secret?
Yeah?
Part of that I owe to the face gym, I think. Have you ever been to the face gym?
No.
It just makes you like your most chiseled self you've ever been in your life. And not saying that I looked fucking chiseled, but like I think that I thought that I looked good given how I think that I can possibly look. I'm like, given the spectrum of how I could have looked in that moment, I was afraid at how it might have looked. But I went for like a really intense facial that day. And I do think it helped.
Oh, it's a
So I
facial
appreciate that.
place.
It's kind of a facial, but they like kick your ass.
I
dude.
thought it was a place where they
Yeah.
attached ropes to your cheeks,
Dude,
and
It's kind of like
gave
that.
you pieces of gum to chew on that don't break down very easily.
It's you're not far off. It's a unique experience.
The face gym.
The face gym. So anyway, whatever. Like I appreciate you saying that. I was pleased with overall how I looked based on how bad I know I can look.
Yeah.
I was happy with the outcome there, because if I had looked terrible, I would have really been depressed that like I had all this time to look good and I chose not to be disciplined enough or something.
I thought you looked so good that it actually hurt some of your jokes.
Oh,
'Cause
like,
you had a couple
the one
of
about me being
jokes
fat?
about gaining weight,
right.
and I was like, this fucking guy, who does he think he is? I'll show you somebody who's gained weight. I don't know who it would be, but I thought you, man, I just thought your outfit, shout out Hill Dog.
Thank you.
Would you not have been able to style yourself that well?
Fuck no, dude.
What was that? I've never seen anything like that. You had your shirt tucked in.
Dude,
It looked really good.
thanks, man.
Is-
She came up with this idea. She's like, how would you feel about like a monochromatic sort of thing? And I was like, I don't know. Like, I would never wear that. And then seeing Schultz reinforced to me the idea when I went to see Schultz's Radio City show. Thanks for the tickets.
yeah.
If you guys listen to the pod, you know that story. But I realized that you don't need to wear stuff that you actually wear for a comedy taping.
No.
It's nice to wear something that you're comfortable in that's a dialed up version of something that you might actually wear.
It's cool.
And I was happy with the outcome of that, which is funny because I got some heat yesterday from the girl with no job Instagram making fun of me for wearing the Apple Watch, which is hilarious.
Yeah,
dude.
I don't really understand this. But I want to get to that, but really
Yeah,
quick.
sorry,
Let's just
sorry.
close the
Sorry,
chapter
sorry,
here.
sorry.
No, that's okay. So in sum, you looked phenomenal.
Thank
Your
you.
jokes crushed.
Thank you.
Thought your set was really tight.
Thanks, man.
These bros were pros was my favorite line. And you said that you came up with that day.
I know, I did.
What a ballsy thing to just try a new tag on a long bit in your set that day. That's crazy.
Thank you.
But isn't it somehow amazing? It's sort of like the homework effect of leaving it to the last minute.
Right.
The pressure just creates greatness sometimes.
I mean, thanks. I'm glad you like that one. I was hoping to squeeze that in, and I had taped it without saying that I think the first show. So I was like, I'm going to say it the second show, and if it bombs, like it doesn't matter. They'll just cut it.
Nice.
Granted, I know you run the risk of killing the momentum of the joke, but I don't know. Whatever.
No, I thought that was great. I thought the weight stuff, the Falcon thing. I watched it twice. I watched it once by myself in the middle of the day, and then I watched it again with Sierra in the evening.
She sent me a very nice text. I appreciate the nice text from you guys.
It was cool, man. It was a really cool thing to see. Just so much pride in you.
Thanks.
Major win for the pod.
Good win for the pod.
Win for the team. Chris being involved. Really nice shots.
Bringing it home.
What a cool thing. You know, there's a quick moment where Machine Gun Kelly is telling Pete Davidson something, and you're there, and you're like, that's whack or something.
I do. That's whack, bro.
I don't even remember what they were talking about, but I was like, that's cool. That's a
They
cool
were talking
thing.
about backhanded compliments, which was a funny conversation.
Huh.
But the idea of somebody coming up to you and being like, yo, bro, my friends don't like you, but I tell them that they're wrong.
Yeah.
Which is a funny.
Yeah, I've gotten that before. Don't listen to what everyone else is saying, dude. You're doing great. It's like, what?
Yeah, you're like, what are they?
I didn't know anyone else was saying anything. What do you mean?
That's so funny.
So go watch Pete Davidson and Friends on Netflix. It's worth watching the whole thing. I haven't watched some of the other comedians yet. We know Carly Aquilino, Nico White, obviously a lot of friends, people who have been on the pod before.
Yeah.
Who else had a really good set, would you say? You know?
Yeah, man. I mean, it seemed like everybody did well. It's one of those things where there's something for everybody. It's a really nicely curated group in the sense that it's like a pretty random group. It's almost as if like if any of us were on the road, there wouldn't be like a shit ton of ticket overlap for anybody. You know what I mean? It's one of those kind of things where it was like very clearly like Pete, these are actually Pete's friends because
Cool.
of how like eclectic of a little group it was.
Yeah.
And you know, it seemed like everybody did pretty well, man. You know, different styles, different kinds of things going on.
Cool.
You know,
Cool.
I thought it was pretty good.
Awesome. All right.
Thank you,
So
thank
that's
you.
that. Now, once it
Apple
dropped,
Watch.
people were posting, you know, it's going everywhere.
Mhm.
And out of nowhere, girl with no job, who is she?
She's one of the kind of like meme page pioneers in a way. She's been around since like the Fuck Jerry era, like she was one of like the leaders of that whole thing.
Is she from Betches?
I don't actually know. Ryan, can we do a little background check on Girl with No Job?
I know she's huge.
She's huge. I think she's like a bit of a like make her fun of things and people. I think it's dude, I thought that her zinger was like very funny. Making fun of the Apple Watch is a funny thing to be doing.
What is the issue with the Apple Watch? Do people not like Apple Watches?
I think it's kind of become sort of like a dadly accessory, like a nerdy sort of thing.
You have been an Apple Watch disciple
I love
for a
it,
long
yeah.
time.
I'm a big Apple Watch person, yeah.
My mom uses it all the time and takes calls from it, which drives me crazy.
My dad loves that feature too. I don't like it so much.
So, okay, you wore your Apple Watch on stage. I didn't even notice it. She somehow found this, took a screenshot, and
Started murdering me.
posted it and said,
Let's see. Should we pull it up? What she
yeah,
said?
pull up what she
I
said.
think it might still be on her fucking page. Well, it's funny because
Her post? Oh, did your Apple Watch go off during your set?
really?
Is
Oh.
that what happened? And
Really?
that's why she commented on that? Oh.
Siri,
I
fucking
thought she just
Siri,
didn't
dude.
like it as an accessory. Well, then that actually
take it
is
off.
pretty
You're
funny.
filming for trying to watch this guy's Apple Watch is so distracting. It was going off. How much? Was Siri listening to me? Oh shit, dude. So maybe she's right. Unbelievable. Airplane mode, bro.
I can't believe you didn't know that.
I had no idea. Chris, can we like get some? All right, whatever. So what was happening on the Apple Watch? What the fuck? This is insane. Oh my god, dude.
Yeah, so your Apple Watch was like going off during it. Oh,
So
this
what
is
was
buzzing.
happening?
1 second.
Okay, Ryan's pulling up the footage. Exhibit A.
Hello. Okay.
Wow, that's
yeah,
just
your
very
Apple Watch was
perceptive.
just like going off, just like doing the little circle Siri thing, I think, or something.
Oh,
I saw it
God.
lighting up.
Oh god, fucking Siri, dude. Like if I go, "Hey Siri," it doesn't work. That just didn't work. But occasionally during the pod, it'll
it
be
goes
happening
off
for
Yes,
like
yes.
an hour.
It's typing out your whole
Yeah,
sentences.
It's doing a
for, like,
manuscript of everything I've ever said. Send it to the
boy.
feds.
Well, it doesn't. It does speak to the fact that this woman is incredibly perceptive.
Yeah, this is why she's a girl with no job.
I was gonna say,
No, but like a girl with no job, and that's her job.
right.
Did you just see the Apple Watch going off? Okay, we're watching for the watch. Oh wow,
Oh, what's happening there?
Siri has been activated. What the fuck?
I don't
dude?
see a whole lot of craziness happening on the watch. Isn't
Yeah.
that just the watch feature of the watch?
I can't tell.
What's on there?
It's like it's the orb that's like, that's wild.
Because
Dude, imagine if they cut me because of that. Like, you never know. Like, it's an Apple symbol, and therefore they just have
Yeah.
to cut me out of the thing.
or a nude came up. Can you get nudes on your Apple Watch?
You can, yeah.
You can get photos on your
Yeah.
Apple Watch?
They'll ping and pop up. Yeah.
Damn.
Nice job,
Um,
Giulio.
Well, it's funny that we both thought she was just shitting on the product.
So this is what happened. She goes, "I'm trying to watch Pete Davidson's new Netflix comedy show, but this guy's Apple Watch is so distracting. Take it off. You're filming for Netflix. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity." Funny. So then apparently people thought that she meant that I was Pete Davidson. And I know that, like, shout out to all the oops people who like messaged her. I know that a lot of that was happening. And then she goes, "Guys, oh my God, I know this isn't Pete Davidson. I'm not a moron." This is another comic who was a part of the special. And Apple Watch aside, he was very funny. Thank you, girl with no job.
Yeah, but
I'm a fan of yours.
if there's ever been an opportunity to tag somebody,
Oh, I know. Hit me with the tag, girl.
it's right there.
That would
And
have like changed my life.
It's not just saying like it's not Pete Davidson
I know.
and not even saying your name. Everybody else would then say it's Giulio. This, at your handle.
Right.
So then
Clearly that's gonna get back to me.
I DM'd her.
Oh, you did?
And I wrote, "Hi there. The gent in the comedy special is Giulio Gallerati," and I made sure to spell it correctly.
Thank you, Francis.
I said, "You're great," to try to butter her up a
I
little.
love it.
"Would be amazing if you tagged him. Sorry to be that guy. He's just a wonderful person,
Aw,
and this was a
man.
big deal, and he deserves to be seen."
I give you a big hug right now if it didn't fuck up the podcast room.
And she did not open the message.
Oh
And I thought if ever there was an opportunity to utilize my blue check mark,
yeah, seriously.
this would have been the time
I was thinking that.
to have her actually see or care about the DM I sent.
So I was thinking that because I like tagged her in a reply saying that like I'm in my 30s, which is why I have the Apple Watch on. I didn't realize it was being distracting during the thing. You're
Yeah.
right, girl with no job. But yeah, I was like, she's not going to see this because I'm not verified. But like, yeah, dude, good thought.
Yeah, no luck. We did our best. We did our best. Maybe we should try to get her on the podcast.
Yeah, we should.
She's a,
She's a big deal, dude.
Big
That's
fish.
so fucking funny. Oh my God.
All right. So that's funny.
Well, dude, let's talk about you. So, I really apologize that I didn't know this. I just didn't see it. I haven't seen you post it, so I just was unaware. But for you saying your Ally song on to the Tim Dillon podcast,
Yes.
which might be the biggest podcast that exists right now.
Oh,
It's up there in the comedy world.
I think, well, obviously Rogan is bigger. Rogan's definitely
Rogan is like, but
bigger.
Rogan is, it's like,
Dude, Rogan gets like 10 million downloads an episode.
what do you mean?
Yeah,
Oh,
Tim is the second highest earner on Patreon.
who's number one?
It's like
Schultz?
no, it's some kind of,
conspiracy.
No,
theory
yeah, like a
podcast.
science podcast. That's not right, but like
Neil
a how
deGrasse
things work
Tyson.
kind of thing. I don't know
Got
exactly what it is.
Got it.
True crime.
True crime obsessed. Okay.
Pretty cool. So
dude,
Tim's
that's
number
sick.
2.
So should we dive into that trip? And
Yeah, dude, my week
you had a fucked up
was ridiculous.
week. You had like a Pete week, dude. Pete's life is like he's constantly flying to things on a day in, day out basis in a way that's like normal for him. And to me, that was like the sort of week that you had.
He had a very funny joke about his flying
Oh, he did. Dude.
at the front of his show.
I remember
That was the best joke I heard
I like
from
that
him.
one. The one about like the pedophile stuff.
Yes.
Dude,
That was excellent.
dude, I was with him the night that he like forged the relationship with the guy who has the plane. It's so funny that has now become a bit.
Just for the record, watch it first, but I'll summarize his joke because it's worth repeating. He said, I fly private a lot because I have a guy. And he was like, he opened it by saying, I'm trying to figure out how to do a joke about how all these people who took Epstein's plane, we can't like blame them.
Mhm.
And I thought he was going to go towards the path of like, well, if you have the opportunity to take a private jet, who would ever turn that down, regardless of who's offering it to you?
Right.
But he went in a different direction and a much funnier direction, which is why he's much more successful than I am. Where he said, I fly private a lot, and I have a guy who is in the waste management business who gives me free private jet travel. He just like lends me his jet or whatever, which is insane. I had no idea that was the case.
Yeah, dude.
But then he said something like, I fly with him and, like I know he's the bad guy. When you fly commercial, you have at least 5 pedophiles on that plane, whereas I only have 1 and I know it's him. Like that's the guy and I'm looking at him. It was such a good joke.
It is good, man.
So, all right.
That's funny.
Pete flies a lot.
Yeah.
This was not a Pete week. I was not flying private. I flew coach everywhere, which not complaining. But just to want it, because I remember I was complaining a little bit about the business class flights we had to Scotland, and you sort of gave me a little bit of a ruler tap. I was the bad boy at the Catholic school. You were the nun teacher.
I did not give you
giving me a little ruler tap on the wrist. Easy there, Francis.
Easy there,
Mr.
Hiawatha.
Ellis. Let's not forget ourselves. So
Let us not forget where we came from.
yeah. So I flew out to LA on Monday. I arrived in the evening. I was staying with a gent who is one of the founders of this very funny Instagram account, Friday Beers. I love those guys. The Barrett brothers. They also now are building a sort of, you'd almost call it like a university of comedy, where they're bringing up young, hilarious creators, hiring some very funny people, Billy and Chet, among others who I worked with, some great TikTok people. And they're just doing great stuff. Their office is amazing, very positive vibe, and really excited to see what they're doing. Follow Friday Beers. Okay. All of that aside, I got in late Monday night. We went to bed. Tuesday morning, woke up very early to get to the film shoot for a Gillian Keefe sketch with Shane Gillis.
Can you fill me in on what the status is? That it appears to be a large scale production now. Is it going somewhere?
Well, Shane just believes in doing it right, as does John McKeever, the director, and it's the two of them are running the show.
And I know that the first time around they absolutely did, but they were doing it in New York last time.
They did it all. I mean, they did it in Philly, New York,
but East Coast mostly, right?
Yeah. So this is season 2 that they're creating, and they've done almost all of it. These were the last 2 sketches, which they were shooting in LA. But I think that was mostly because the sketches required certain set pieces that could only be found in the LA area.
Got it.
And it's incredible. I mean, the production value, the talent of the sound team.
Shane is very smart.
He really is.
He's a very smart guy.
It's almost intimidating to be around him
Yeah.
because you feel like you have to speak right.
Yeah. He
Otherwise,
really
he'll
is.
pounce. He'll spot things or hear things that are silly or missteps.
Right. And just like judge you
crush
venomously
you
and
for
viciously.
it. Yeah,
Bro, he's special. He's a special.
he is, and he'll crush you for it and see that you are crumbling, and then he'll put an arm around you and tell you
Totally.
that he loves you.
With that charming smile, dude. I'll
Which
be like,
makes
dude, I could
you-
kiss you on the mouth right now, Shane.
Yeah, it makes you want his approval. And I'll tell you something, it's amazing to watch the magnetism that he possesses over people.
Yeah.
Because it is so universal that people do want his approval of them.
Totally.
And anyway, the point is we shot all day Tuesday, and I'm talking 8 a.m. until 6 p.m.
Yeah, like a full production.
And it was hot.
Yeah. Right.
So that's an exhausting day
yeah.
to be shooting all day. Finished that.
How was it? It was fun. I saw you do. I don't know if we're allowed to like. Well, no, they were posting it, but you were doing fight training choreography.
No, that was something different,
Oh.
which I'm going to get to, and
Okay,
you're not
sorry.
going to believe.
Sorry.
Because I still haven't told you
You haven't.
this.
No.
So we shot all day Tuesday. That was great. Then I went and met with a friend of mine that I'm working on a project with, and we wrote for a while. And then I just went back and went to bed. Because on Wednesday, we woke up again, and this time I was staying in Venice, and I had to drive to Anaheim. And that is so far.
From Venice, is it better than if you were in Hollywood?
Maybe. It was still an
A little
hour
bit.
and 10
I don't
minutes.
actually know. Yeah.
It was a long way.
It's far.
And it was like crossing from Connecticut to New Jersey
Yeah.
during rush hour.
The
So
Tappan Zee.
yeah, it was nuts. We shot all day Wednesday, and then I went to dinner early with the same gent that I'm writing with, as well as a major like studio head person.
Sick.
So that
Where'd
was
you
a
guys
big
go?
deal. We went to this place called the San Vicente Bungalows. It's like a gay version of Soho House.
Cool.
It's run by gay men,
Cool.
I think, and it is super cool.
Is that a new thing? Gay owned?
I wonder.
That's become like. Okay, but anyway, so that sounds sick though.
I did that dinner, and then I went to the hotel that Shane and the whole crew were staying at and met them for a drink. And in walked Nate Diaz,
The fighter?
the MMA fighter who has beaten Conor McGregor
Yeah.
and is universally recognized as being one of the most badass mofos on the planet.
Yes.
His face bears so much scar tissue that it's almost like it's filled with silly putty. It's hard for him almost to express himself. It would
He
seem.
just looks like Hellboy.
Yeah. And that's not to say he's not a handsome guy.
No, no.
He is, but he just wears these scars proudly. He's had his face busted up on so many occasions that it is.
Yeah.
It's just
Healing the best it can.
yeah. So he walked in. Now Shane had hung out with him, I think, a month or two ago, and I know this because I recently did Matt and Shane's Secret Podcast, which is their podcast.
Sick.
And I did the episode that followed immediately his hangout with Nate Diaz,
Mhm.
on which he told the story of hanging out with him, which was very funny. And so because of that, I was particularly excited to hang out with Nate Diaz, to meet Nate Diaz, because I'd been
Yeah.
firsthand privy to the accounting of that original hang.
Right.
And because Shane knew him, Shane went and said hi. Nate Diaz was with a bunch of his pals, his crew, all of whom are in the MMA world.
Where's this hotel?
It was the Roosevelt, the
Okay,
Hollywood
cool.
Roosevelt. And Nate invited us to come to dinner with him. Now, he is a vegan. And so we were going to
Oh.
this vegan restaurant called Crossroads,
Okay.
which was excellent. And we had a private room, and we were drinking shots before we went,
Was Nate drinking too?
big time.
I love that for those people. Like they just have they can just drink as much as they want.
Dude, this guy gets fucked up. And I, from the moment this plan materialized, I was so on board to, and I hate to use this term, send it.
What is that? That's a good term.
I was ready instantly to see how deep the rabbit hole could go.
Oh my God, I love
To
where this is
find
going.
myself, to yes man my way through any substance, if he had offered me heroin, I would have done it. It was from the moment this plan started clicking into place, I was like, I want to operate on his terms. I want to see the world from this side of the lens. I will not be afraid. If they put me in a chokehold and want me to experience what it feels like to pass out, I'm willing. I just want to agree and imbibe and accept and consume along their lines.
So what was proposed? This is really exciting.
You know, we start at the hotel bar, like shots of tequila. Okay, done. Then we get in the car. It was me, John McKeever, Shane, and Ian Fidance.
Mhm.
And Ian's sober, so it was great because he was the designated driver.
Unreal.
So we drove to the restaurant, we parked, we go in. Oh, and Gerber, who's another hysterical guy.
I know him.
Who's part of Steve Gerber,
Yeah.
part of those Gillian Keefe sketches.
Squad.
And we go in, and not for nothing, the squad's a little nervous. We're a little nervous.
Are you intentionally not telling us what's about to happen?
No,
What are we nervous about?
we're nervous because it's Nate Diaz.
You're just like, this guy could snap at any moment.
No, his clout,
Okay, yeah.
he possesses.
You want him to like you.
He's like a mega celebrity. I mean, even
Yeah.
from going from the hotel pool bar to the car, getting out of the car, going into the restaurant, 15 people stopped him and asked him for photos.
Wow.
I mean,
That's
it was
fucking
like he
crazy.
cannot go 10 feet on the street without being asked for a photo.
That's crazy.
Dude, he's got 5.5 million followers on Instagram.
It's a lot.
He makes $10 million a fight. I don't know what it is. He beat Conor McGregor
Dude, it's
and then
amazing.
almost beat him again in their rematch.
Did he lose the rematch?
Yeah, but it was
He was like a decision.
close.
Yeah. Okay.
He's never been knocked out as far as I can tell.
That's so sick to never have been knocked out
He's beaten, dude. He's like the scariest dude in the MMA.
in the world.
And
He's
you're
the scariest man in the world.
you're with him and his crew
and he's hammered.
is other MMA guys, and you see him start like joking around shadowboxing, and you're like, I'm gonna go to the fucking bathroom right now because he might turn me into a plaything,
Yeah.
and he'll just all of a sudden my elbow's gonna be over my head and my ankle's gonna be in my mouth, and I don't know how to what to do.
He's gonna fold you.
Yeah. So we're at this vegan restaurant. It's so funny. We originally set up the tables, but like none of our crew knows where we should sit. We're not sure if we should intersperse with his group. Nobody wants to sit too close to Nate because we don't want to seem presumptuous, but we also do want to be close to him because we want to hear what he's got to say.
Totally.
And, so we kind of position ourselves, and then someone's like, well, why don't we create a ring of the tables? So then this ridiculous sort of musical tables game starts where we're like rearranging the tables, and nobody knows exactly how we should do it. Too many people are working on it. It's taking too long. It's just a mess. But finally we get it right. So now we're sitting family style. Meanwhile, they're ordering all kinds of things, ordering drinks, wine, all of this. And I'm like, oh boy.
Sick.
I don't know if I should. Am I splitting this? Like, this is going to be pretty bad.
I was gonna ask that. Yeah.
But of course, there's no chance, and I'll tell you why. Because there were other people there who I don't know exactly what they did, but it was just always known and presumed that they were going to be covering the bill.
Right.
And at one point, this guy came in with the maitre d' of the restaurant. And keep in mind, we're in a private room,
You're right.
so it's like cordoned off. And I'm not going to say exactly what was happening, but I will say that there were some fun things that were being passed around that I was like, yeah, fucking throw it over here. No, it wasn't that. It wasn't that.
Okay,
It wasn't that.
okay.
No, it was some boomers. Some boomers.
Okay.
But I'm talking real boomers
Yeah.
in a bag that was like could have fed a family.
Right, looking like kind of petrified wood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stems
Yeah.
and caps and
Sick.
I've only eaten these girly branded chocolate bar mushrooms before.
Damn.
So
dude.
to go to the source, I was
That's a
like,
crazy
what are
jump.
we doing here? And I'm looking around. I'm like, what should I do? And someone was like, take 2 stems. And I'm like, all right, I'll take 2 stems. So I took 2 stems. And Nate was like, take 4. You'll be fine. I can't do the voice. Shane does the
Did
voice.
you?
No.
Okay, good.
I was
good
nervous.
decision. Yeah, that's a good decision.
But I was like, I want to experience, as I said, the whole time. I was like, anything that comes my way. Like imagine you're in Japan and you know how at some restaurants they have those conveyor belts that come out with trays of
and
food.
the sushi and
It
stuff.
was like that. Anything that passed in front of me, I was willing to
Like,
try.
ooh, what's that?
Yeah, this was just a night of experimentation.
Fun, dude.
So,
Oh, yeah, dude. Dude,
oh,
your
yeah,
plover
speaking
robe
of-
is so appropriate right
my
now.
plover robe is filled with mushrooms. Yeah.
Plover robes for tripping balls and hanging with UFC fighters in LA.
Yeah. Now keep in mind, I'm seated next to a guy named Ernie Reyes, who is apparently an MMA legend. And I guess was one of the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles
What?
from like the 1980s
What?
movie. Ernie Reyes
What?
Jr. And I think he was also
What?
one of the surf ninjas.
What?
Dude, this guy's a legend. And I don't know who he is. So yeah, that guy.
There he is.
And he was so nice.
Oh, wow.
He was so nice, and I'm having a lovely side conversation with him. Because there's no one universal conversation happening at the table. But I'm having a great time talking to him. I'm telling him about how I want to start cutting for my wedding. What should I do?
Ernie's a great name.
Ernie's, yeah.
What did he suggest?
He was like, well, it just comes down to running more and eating the way you eat. And he asked me how much I eat and all of this.
And he said you need to like eat less or something.
I need to eat more frequently,
Got it.
more meals throughout the day. And by the way, I'm fucked up, but I'm
like,
trying to be. I'm very good at
Drunk or tripping?
maintaining just everything. It's all
Everything.
blending together.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to maintain a semblance of presentability, and I'm achieving that in my mind.
guys, I want to really quickly mention Francis is a good time, dude. He really is. Like you expect, like he's in such good shape. You expect him to be the guy who's like, no, I have an early morning. He's not. He will never back down from a situation like this. He is such a good time. It's insane. If you have him in the wild, he's down.
I appreciate that. I think that's generous. There are definitely times where I'm not up for it and I'll cut out early and I will be the first person to leave. But on a night like this, when the stars align,
You gotta.
and I just know there's a story being built here, I will go to the end.
Totally.
I'll go to the end of it.
Totally.
Okay. So then, we're having a great time. At some point, a guy who like owns a hospital, which I didn't even know was possible, comes in. The maitre d' brings this guy in, and he's like, "This is this guy. He's a big fan." And maybe Nate had been treated at this hospital
Okay.
or something, but like Nate shakes his hand, and I could be wrong, but I think that guy just paid our whole bill
The hospital guy.
for like 24 people, a
Wow.
stranger. But
Wow.
I could be wrong about that.
Wow.
Either way, the guy was
Sick.
like, anytime you need anything, which, means like surgery. It's like, come into the hospital and we'll treat you. It's like,
Oh my
all right.
God. Oh my goodness.
So that was wild. And then Shane decides to drop in at the Improv to do a set, which was very close by. We walked to the Improv. Shane goes up on stage and does a set, which was to his credit because we had been really getting after it. And he was still able to like keep it together enough to like murder, which he always does.
Mhm.
And then it was like 1:30 in the morning and everything was closed and we're sort of just walking around. And we went to an abandoned liquor store. No, we went to a liquor store that
You're
was
still with
open.
Nate,
Nate and his whole crew.
wandering around on Melrose.
And we walked into a liquor store. We bought a bunch of cases of White Claw because that's what he likes to drink.
Hell yeah.
Lord Farquaad.
Lord Farquaad.
And we
here.
went behind the liquor store into an abandoned parking lot and we shotgunned White Claws until 3 a.m.
Oh my God.
And I mean White Claws.
Oh my God.
Like we would do one, 20 minutes would pass, and Nate would be like, all right, let's go again. And we would do another.
And everybody's like popping it with their key and
Yeah.
that is
I was
insane.
using my Delta Amex reserve card.
Using the perp.
Yeah. And I drank, I don't know, 4 or 5 White Claws at one sip, which is really not fun. It gets hard. It's not that fun.
Dude, it's crazy. It's like a challenge.
It was so much malt liquor and whatever's in
Ugh.
those things, and just so much like sweet, fake flavor and carbonation. And we did that. I was getting self-defense lessons from my pal Ernie
Oh
Reyes.
my God, that's who you were doing
That's
that
what
with?
that was.
That is so sick.
At one point, there was this really steep hill that led up to the houses that looked over in the Hollywood Hills. And I bet that I could climb it, which I tried and I couldn't. Unfortunately, so my shoes were all torn up and I had tons of sand in my feet.
You're just training now?
And I don't know. It was just a night. It was just that. It was
That's
just
sick.
dudes hanging out for no purpose other than to get fucked up together in a parking lot. And it was awesome.
Yeah, that's sick.
It was so fun.
Dude, that's so sick.
And finally, I got in an Uber. I went home. I passed out. I woke up the next morning. I had to take the Uber. I'd left my car at the hotel. So I had to take the Uber back from
Okay.
Venice back to the hotel in Hollywood. And that was an hour-long drive
Oh shit.
that made me so sick because I was so hungover and so fucked up that when I got to the hotel, I went into the bathroom and threw up
Oh no.
all that White Claw.
Oh my God.
And then I went and I did Tim Dillon's podcast.
Oh my God.
Actually, I'm even skipping steps. I went straight from throwing up to the Guitar Center to rent the keyboard, which I then brought to Tim Dillon's podcast, set that up,
I didn't know
did
you
the
could do that.
podcast, took the keyboard back to the Guitar Center, then raced to LAX, got there just in time to return my rental car, checked in. My flight was 45 minutes delayed. Horror, because I have a very tight connection in Salt Lake City
Oh
to
my
Milwaukee.
God, dude.
So tight, in fact, that Delta just automatically rebooked me
Wow.
on another flight out of Salt Lake City the next morning at 6 a.m., which was connecting in Minnesota on to Milwaukee.
Oh.
But somehow, I get on the plane, our flight takes off, we're late. The flight in Salt Lake, we land in Salt Lake, I sprint through the terminal. They are holding it for us. We're the last people on the plane.
Wow.
I make the connection.
Oh my
I arrive in
God.
Milwaukee at 2 a.m.
Oh my goodness.
Go to an airport hotel, check in, pass out, wake up at 7 a.m., go back to the airport, get a rental car there, drive to Erin Hills Golf Course where they
Oh
played
my
the U.S.
God.
Open.
You are an animal.
I played Erin Hills Golf Course where I had shipped my golf clubs to.
Oh my God.
Had an awesome time playing golf.
Oh my
Shout
God.
out Adam, who's the fucking man, played really well. Then drove
They
from
paired you with a guy?
it was just a fan who
Oh,
had
cool.
asked, I was like, want to play golf? And I was like, yeah, dude, I'm actually going to play Erin Hills. And he hopped on my tee time.
Unbelievable.
And we had an awesome time. And then I drove 2 hours north from there to Appleton, Wisconsin, straight to sound check at the comedy club, checked into the hotel, showered, then came back, headlined 2 shows. Then I like went out
What?
with 2 fans from the show that you know.
What?
Rachel, I think her name is, and her friend that you know, they dated each other. I'll tell you about it after.
Okay.
And went and had like a drink with them, and then went back to my hotel, passed out, woke up the next day. Oh, I forgot. In the airport hotel
This is
that morning,
fucking crazy.
on Friday morning, I'd gotten in at 2 a.m. I had to wake up at 7 a.m. to do a radio hit on a local radio show
Oh my God.
to promote my shows in
show.
Appleton.
Oh my God.
Then went back to the hotel, rented the car, drove to the Erin Hills, played the golf course, drove up to Appleton, sound check, check in, 2 shows, pass out, wake up on Saturday morning. Finally had a somewhat chill day, 2 shows Saturday night, woke up early Sunday morning, had to drive 2 hours back to Milwaukee, got on my flight and got home.
Holy fuck.
So that was my week.
That's crazy.
And that is the most difficult week I've ever had in my life.
It's
I'm not kidding you.
crazy.
I got home on Sunday and I walked in and
You just
Sierra,
collapsed.
I collapsed on the ground. And Sierra was like, we need to rehabilitate this man.
Clear. Boom.
Yeah. I was a shell.
Holy
I
fuck,
smelled
dude.
so bad. You cannot pack enough clean clothes for a week like that.
Yeah. that's
Because
a
I'm
long week.
working out a couple of times.
Yeah.
So I have
Golf
sweaty clothes
clothes.
in there. Golf clothes. I've run out of socks. I've run out of boxers. I'm wearing, dirty bird dogs for the third time.
Yeah, Francis, like when we went to Boston, I was like shocked at how little you brought. Francis is a light packer, which I respect.
I packed as much as I could,
Yeah.
but by the end of that trip, you are just disgusted with yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
You're living in your own filth and squalor. There's no end in sight. You've just accepted that you have to get through it.
So was the Nate Diaz night just so sick though that it's like the same as when you like hooked up with the hottest girl you've ever hooked up with and you don't sleep, but you're like very able to go to work the next day because it was so sick?
Yeah.
Yeah, like running on fumes of like the positivity of
There's
how cool your week's been.
adrenaline.
Yeah.
There's that kind of like delirium, which
Yeah.
lends itself to adrenaline.
Yes.
It's
yes.
like you're so delirious that your tank is so empty
yeah.
that you're faking. You're like laughing. You're just crazy.
Before you went on stage for the first show, was there ever a like, how on earth am I going to get through tonight? Or were you ready to rip? You'd already played
I didn't
golf,
have a
right?
choice.
Right.
When you lay out an itinerary that I had, you don't have a choice. You've made your own bed at each stop,
Totally.
and you have to lie in it. And you just have to rise to the occasion. People have paid money to come see you. You have to deliver.
Yeah.
You've got all of these things. There was no moment where I had a time to collect myself. And you just ride your own train until you can finally get off, and
Wow.
your body then tells you like, "Hey, we're not up for that. That's not
Right.
good. What we just did there."
Wow, dude. That's crazy. And like, yeah, I have like done so there occasionally, like I'll be in a situation where like when I used to try to teach tennis hungover after like being out all night, and like I'd step on court for that first lesson when I had like 8 lessons ahead of me, and I literally like want to start crying.
Yeah,
But like you get through it and it's awesome.
you get through it.
Yeah, your week was cool though. Like you didn't even have to golf.
No,
But you were just psyched to golf though. You just love golfing. I get it.
I had the whole Wisconsin thing booked before I had the LA thing booked.
Yeah.
All the LA stuff. And so when I booked Wisconsin, it was a road weekend where I knew I was going to pass by a bunch of these world-class golf courses. And I've become very fond of, folding in some golf as I'm on the road. Only as of like this year, were my eyes finally open to the fact that I don't just need to lie in a dark hotel room all day until the shows
Yeah.
start. And it's just made my weekends a lot more fulfilling when I'm on the road.
Totally.
And Erin Hills is is legitimately one of the top 4, 5 golf courses I've ever played.
Sick.
It's up there.
Sick, dude.
And so, no, you're right. I did not need to golf.
No, but I wasn't saying like you shouldn't have golfed. I was just
once-
impressed that you were.
Once I had the LA stuff booked, I wasn't gonna cancel the golf. 'cause
Yeah.
I was excited about it.
Yeah.
And it was, I think the thing that helped me get through all of it was how carefully I planned everything out. So I was very early to book my rental car in LA and book my rental car in Milwaukee.
Mhm.
I was very early to book my hotel in Milwaukee. I was very early to reach out to my friend and ask if I could stay with him in LA. I knew where I had to be, and I had windows to make it happen, and it all did. And the making the connection in Salt Lake City
That was huge.
was what kept the whole week from falling
Yeah.
apart.
Yeah.
Because if I hadn't made that, I wouldn't have gotten to golf in Milwaukee. I would have been shattered from having to spend the night in an airport hotel in Salt Lake and then wake up at 4 a.m. for a 6 a.m. flight to Minnesota with another layover and another leg on from there to Milwaukee. Change my rental car time, all of that. Like it would have fucked everything up.
So because okay, I see what you're saying. So having all that stuff arranged and like being aware of it, it took away a sort of element of anxiety that would have prevented you from having the energy to get through this week.
There was no guesswork. I didn't have to figure anything out.
Yeah.
I had already done everything I needed to do, and then it was just a matter of getting to my places on time.
Do you ever lean on your sort of like team to
My
book that shit?
manager's assistant, Alex, is the man, and he puts together these really clean itineraries
That's
that
sick.
list everything.
That's sick.
So I do refer to that, which is really, really helpful. But yeah, man, I mean,
Unreal, bro.
you know, it was a hell of a week. Honestly, one of the coolest weeks I've ever had. I cannot wait to see these Gillian Keefe sketches.
Yeah, dude.
They're going to be an absolute treat. And
Big
the
W.
episode is on Tim Dillon's podcast.
Is it on his Patreon?
No, it's
How does that
it's
work?
the public episode.
I wasn't saying it like that.
No,
Do you know
do
when
you
people-
think that I took offense at what
Of course
you just
not.
said?
But I don't like when people do what I just did if it was not what I was actually doing, which was I was just wondering. I didn't know if his entire podcast is behind Patreon. But when people will be like, for example, for me, they'll be like, "Oh, like you did the Netflix thing, like for YouTube, right?" They like do this thing where they like want it to be a worse version of what it is for some
Oh.
reason. It's on YouTube, right? No, it's not. Oh, so but like I could like your name is like yeah. Oh, like you know that I hate that. I hate that.
At some point, you need to start celebrating your wins for yourself.
I'm aware, but it's annoying to have that negative energy
But
coming at you. Agreed, and I do. I do.
I don't think that detracts from your achievement whatsoever.
It doesn't. I'm not saying that it does, but I don't like.
And
that.
I know, but
You know what I mean?
I also think that your achievement and success is so undeniable that that if anything, that's a compliment.
Thank
It's
you.
another way for you to reiterate, no, actually, I am front and center at the top of one of Fang's companies.
Okay, but it's not okay. Netflix aside, just the general like question where then you ask a question hoping that whatever the story is like the worst version of the story.
Do you think that those people are hoping for that?
Yes,
Why?
because you can just tell because they're like competitive or jealous or something. But like, okay, say you like hooked up with a Victoria's Secret model. Oh, I hooked up with a Victoria's Secret. Oh, no way, dude. Really? You guys like had sex though, or you just like kissed?
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, we had sex. You're like, oh, wow, dude, really? But just only like once, right? Like you don't still talk
And then
to her,
would
right?
someone be like, was she one of those like diet, sort of progressive models that they have? Like, is she missing an arm? It's probably one of those, right?
I'm trying to think like,
Is she tapping into their like injured fisherman demographic?
no, but okay, but it's more subtle than that. I'd be like, oh man, she was so hot when she was on the cover of Sports Illustrated. She's not like, I mean, does she still
Does she look like
does she
that in
still look
person?
yeah.
Does she look like that in
Does
person?
she still, you know what I mean? Like just those kind of, I know people like that and they don't even know that they're doing it and they don't mean that they're doing it, but it annoys me when people do that.
I don't want you to be bothered by it. And I'm not saying that for any other reason than to tell you that what you did, because when we were talking about it, even you started to downplay your own achievement to
what
me.
are we even talking about? Oh, Netflix?
I think I said, oh, it's out or something. We were texting yesterday and you had some text. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was in sort of, oh, I don't know the edit. Yeah. And I was like, stop.
Oh, but had I watched it yet?
I'm not sure.
Okay. I forget what
You
I
said something that was sort of, it was
I didn't
humble.
say anything about the edit. I don't think.
I don't
Did I?
remember
Did I?
exactly.
Okay,
You want me to
okay.
go back and look?
Should we?
I'll look.
Okay, but I yeah, okay. You're right. I agree that one should not diminish their own accomplishments. I get shy sometimes, and maybe it manifests itself in like me wanting to like downplay a thing like that or something. I don't know.
I understand. Sorry, we text so
Sorry,
much.
dude. I also feel bad. I'll like send Francis these like big texts, and I can just picture him looking at Sierra and being like, "Man, Giulio really sends confusing texts." I can really send a big blue chunk, and a lot of time I'll be like, "Dude, I just don't even read that. I'll just tell you when I see you." So I apologize for that.
All right, hold on, dude. So here's where we are. Okay, here's what it is. I said,
Okay.
bro, you're set. This is so good. First of all, it looks good. You look so sharp. Jokes are really tight. You said, I appreciate it, bro. So stressful to have no say in the edit and see it day of.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I said, these bros are pros, LOL. You go, ha ha ha. Oh, this is it. Okay. Well, okay. This goes on. I go, it's so good. Pretty sick, man. You go, nice of you, dude. I know it ain't anything too crazy, but it still feels good.
Right. Okay.
It is crazy. You're wrong.
Okay.
You're wrong.
Okay. Thank you.
Think about when we started
You're right. It is.
doing comedy.
It is, dude. Yeah.
Think about
I
it.
know.
Stop.
I would have been thrilled.
Do
I
this
know.
exercise.
I know. Okay.
Walk
let's do
down
it.
memory
Let's do it.
lane.
Let's do it.
We started out.
Yes.
You were teaching tennis.
Dude, there was a moment for as part of this exercise in like 2009 where I was like, if I ever like get on TV doing stand up, like I'll feel happy and I can die happy.
Right.
I had that thought at one point in my life.
So we're starting out comedy.
Okay.
10 years ago,
Yes.
12 years ago, whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
Doing open mics in New York City.
Mm-hmm.
There are 1,000, if not 10,000 other comedians that are at our level,
Mm-hmm.
right? We're all just bottom feeders.
Yeah.
Staring up, occasionally buying tickets at the Comedy Cellar and going in and thinking, my God, I can't even connect the dots between
Right.
where I'm at right now and these masters of the universe that I'm watching on stage.
You're right.
Oh God, Chris Rock's dropping in. There's Louis C.K.
Mhm.
Aziz is on fire. Holy shit. Amy Schumer. These people. My God. Right? Years progress. Few wins here and there. You had some early wins in your career.
Mhm.
That MTV show.
Mm-hmm.
That must have been a little bit wild
It was, yeah.
because then you have those and then, you know, it's not, you think, well, have I turned a corner? And then maybe it doesn't.
And you had not, and it turns
It
out I
doesn't,
had
your
not,
life
yeah.
is not at that level yet. You have
Mhm.
to keep earning it back.
Mm-hmm.
And it's years and years and years, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're doing commercials, you're grinding, you're doing great. We start the podcast, finally get to a point where we can like pay our living,
Mm-hmm.
you know, pretty comfortably and live comfortably and have consistent income. But we still, I think neither of us have still had that crowning, universally recognized comedy moment. Maybe you have, and I don't mean
I
to
had
speak
not.
for
No,
you.
I hadn't.
Where it's a branded, top of the line Rolex of comedy credit.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, there's Giulio. Ba-bum. The Netflix chime. He's on there. The smoky sort of camera view.
Yeah.
Lots of different camera views. Being introduced, Pete Davidson, credits roll. You know, Giulio Gallerati walking on stage, $1 million smile. That's crazy.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
From where we were,
You're right.
and I say we because I'm celebrating your accomplishment for myself. 'Cause I'm sitting next to you, the guy on Netflix. This is a win for me.
That's very sweet.
It's
That's very-
crazy.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
And you need to go get fucked up. I want you to go. Have you gotten fucked up since it came out?
I have not. Yeah,
We should go get fucked up. Should we get fucked up this weekend? Are you here?
Yeah.
Let's go get fucked up.
Yeah, I'm here this weekend. I'm down.
Sierra's away on her bachelorette party.
Oh yeah,
Still
which
dog
Hill
going
Dog
on
is
that?
going to.
The girls are away. We're getting real fucked up. Are you guys around?
They're both
The boys are away.
bastards.
So then
boys
the
have
old men,
dispersed. The old
we're gonna
men.
go.
Okay.
We're gonna get banged up,
Okay, I'm
friendo.
I'm down.
And it's all gonna be. It's gonna get the conversations are gonna get more and more like self-congratulating,
Okay. Okay.
and it's all gonna be just we're gonna tap glasses probably 400 times,
I like that.
and each time it's gonna be kind of more and more asserting how much you've achieved.
It's very
Until
nice.
by the end of the night, you're gonna be actually annoying to be around because you'll have drunk your Kool-Aid so
Let's
much.
watch it again, dude.
And people are like, dude, this guy. yeah. Someone bring it up on their phone. What's the Wi-Fi password in this bar? Who's got the Netflix app? I'm going to be showing people in the bathroom at the urinal, like, yo, you want to see a fucking hilarious joke? That's that guy out there that I'm drinking with. I'm going to bang him later.
Dude, that's very nice, man. That was a
That's
wild ride.
crazy, Giulio. It's
Thank you.
crazy.
Thank you, dude.
I tried to tell you in the text messages, but
No, you did, and I appreciate it. You gave me a nice pep talk. It is nice, dude.
it's just comedy. I like so many things, I think, like so many careers, is one where by the time you've achieved something, you've already set your sights on the next thing.
Mhm.
And there's always somebody who's ahead of you. So you lose sight of your own benchmarks.
Yeah.
And whether you're in finance, it's getting that first, whatever, let's call it $100,000 Christmas bonus, at which point you see that your colleague got a $200,000 or $500,000 one. So it seems like pennies to
Yeah.
you. Right. Or, I don't know what you guys do, but my God, we have to take moments to bask in your achievements, because if you don't, you lose the joy of doing what you're doing.
That's true.
Those are the moments where you just have to take a breath and say, you know what? I'm going to go out tonight and I'm going to buy a fucking bottle of champagne at dinner to start, or whatever it is, start at your house and like get something really nice and just get fucked up and be proud of yourself and let others be proud of you. And because we don't know when the next ship will come in.
That could be it, dude.
But even if it were,
It's okay. It's okay. I know.
And you had children 5 years from now, and you had to leave the industry and do something else because you were either tired of it or, you had financial needs that were not being met by this, God forbid, whatever. And 15 years from now or 10 years from now, your kids were old enough and you could say, I was a comedian once.
Mm-hmm.
Here's proof.
Right.
Here's my 10-minute set on Netflix, which will certainly still be around in 15 years. I certainly think they're doing pretty well.
It seems like they will be.
That is when my dad would show me pictures of him playing lacrosse or football in high school and say, like, I scored 4 touchdowns this day.
Mhm.
And I'd say, oh, come on, Dad. You have a moving proof
Mhm.
of your achievement, which you will be able to show your children. It's undeniable. It's a Letterman set. It's
Right.
all
right.
that.
Yeah. Thanks, dude. That's very good.
Am I wrong?
That almost
team?
deserves a clap, dude.
Yeah, let's clap it up for Giulio. If you're at home,
Generally
fucking clap for the
speaking.
kid.
Thank you, man.
And
That's very nice.
and that goes for all of you listening too. You get your bonus, you get a promotion, you graduate from graduate school, you get health insurance, anything, whatever it is.
Enjoy it.
Life does not just have to be, as my friend puts it, a race to the grave. If you've got all of your achievements lined up and by the time you get something, you're already on to the next one, seeking that and just busting your ass, man,
Yeah.
take a second to say, I've hit a checkpoint. I'm breathing different air at this level.
Yeah. That's good.
And take a picture of yourself, whatever it is you need to do, and be proud of yourself, man, because life is too fucking short not to be. That's for sure.
It's very, dude. It's very nice. Yeah. You're
All
right. You're right.
Sermon over.
No, you're right, dude. You're right.
I
You're
was genuinely and purely happy for you.
right. Thank you.
I almost fear that I was happier for you than you were for yourself. And that's what I came to say today.
Thank you.
It's like, God damn it.
Of course, I was happy. I get scared that it's gonna become this like, I don't know. I don't even know what it is. I can't even put it into words.
I get it.
But I don't want to like carry on. I don't know. It's also, I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. But you're right. Everything you said, you're correct.
Think about this.
I appreciate it.
From this day forward, when a host whispers to you as you're about to take the stage, how do you want me to introduce you? You can say Netflix.
That is nice.
And it's not some, fake ass writing credit. You didn't write one joke on like a roast. No offense to those people. You were front and center performing stand up on Netflix.
Yeah.
Introduce me. What do I say? Netflix.
Shout out to Pete, dude. Yeah, 100%.
Sure. Shout out to Pete, but also shout out to you.
Shout out to Giulio. Thank you, dude. It's very nice.
That's sick.
Very good.
Very cool. All right. Well, lots more coming on Thursday. I have so much more to talk to you about. Appreciate you letting me have.
Thank you for the pep talk.
And
I
by
do
the way,
appreciate it.
my recounting of my time in LA, I think that's the fastest I've ever talked on the podcast.
Yeah, it was. It really was. The whole time.
Francis is ripping through the story.
That's the quickest I've ever gotten through anything.
There's so much going on in that
It was
story.
nuts.
It's a crazy fucking week, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ryan, what do you got for us? We got to unmute Ryan. Ryan, we got the
facts with Ryan.
Jack
Facts of life.
check-in.
Just a couple facts. So you mentioned distance. Venice to Anaheim is 1 hour flat. Hollywood to Anaheim is 57 minutes.
Okay.
Interesting. Good.
Nate Diaz makes about $2 million per pay-per-view event on average. Some events he makes more. And then girl with no job, her name's Claudia Oshry. She was born in New York City. She's 27. She went to NYU. She's a comedian and author, and she has 3 siblings, and those are her sisters.
Wow.
Wow.
Is her address on there too? I'm joking.
Pretty good.
Ryan, very, very
Thank
comprehensive.
you, Ryan.
This is why, he's in the fucking hot seat over here. Thank
Yeah.
you, Ryan. Thank you, Chris. Congratulations to Chris as well for the Netflix thing. Very sick.
Yeah, Chris, that is pretty fucking sick too. Everything I said for Giulio goes for you too. Seriously, man. You were in the fucking room. It's awesome. It's a great piece of work that you put together.
Dude, Chris
Think
Chris could have sold his footage for $1 million to TMZ
Totally.
of She Who Shall Not Be Named.
Oh.
I watched him hand the card over. He has not hung on to it.
Interesting.
I still have everything. Oh yeah.
Damn.
It's in my hard drives. I'm not. Yeah.
Pretty
Okay.
sick.
Sick.
Pretty sick. And Chris, I think you should also do the same exercise, which is to take a look back at where you were, 3-4 years ago, and then put yourself back in that room and look at the footage you have of these world-leading creators and talents and celebrities. And man, it's a testament to you. You put yourself there. So pretty sick.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Right on, dude.
Ryan, someday you and me,
Put her there.
we'll get something worth celebrating. Just got to keep trying. Keep the faith, my friend. Someday we'll be, linking arms with these two goofballs. All right.
Let's go. What do you got?
That's Oops the Podcast, a celebratory episode. Let's see. I'm in Washington, D.C. metro area at the Arlington Draft House, July 22nd and 23rd. I hope so many of you will show up there. Tickets for that are available at francisellis.com. And that's all for now.
Cool. And I'm going to be in the Tampa area, July 14th through the 17th. Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday in Wesley Chapel, Florida at Side Splitters. Friday in St. Petersburg at Side Splitters. Tickets on my website. And then also July 28th in Seattle at the Crocodile. I hope to see you guys there.